everybody!
Hey!
Welcome to 2 days before Christmas.
Yes!
We just wanted to come on and say hi. And today we're going to be talking about student mental health. Hey, what's up?
Hey, everybody! Yeah, so student wellness.
Bring back!
Hey!
Lydia!
Hey, guys!
So today we're talking about mental health and different methods that you can use to help with all the stress. This time of year is particularly stressful, so we thought we would hop on and give you some tips.
Yeah, so most people think, oh, once I get into PA school, stress is over, and actually your stress is actually just beginning. It's just a different kind of stress, right? And so we've actually had students who have not dealt well with stress and mental health and had not taken the time, and there are some students that don't complete PA school because of this. And so we don't want this to be you. We want you to figure out some strategies for you to deal with mental health. And so we have a couple of ideas for you. And again, everybody's a little bit different. So something that speaks to you might not speak to your roommate or to someone else. And so however, you just need to figure out however you deal with stress. But here are some options.
So my favorite one is meditation. Hi, Susan. Favorite one is, oh, thank you.
Thanks. Yes, we were in the mood, in the Christmas mood. It's only 2 days.
So meditation is my favorite method to de-stress. Absolutely love it. I used to hate it because I get really distracted and I couldn't turn my mind off. So it does take practice to build up to a few minutes without all these other distracting thoughts come in. But once you can finally make it to that point, it is absolutely amazing. Hi, to de-stress. Do you meditate?
I don't meditate. But do you use an app or what do you do?
So both two things. So I will meditate directly after really strenuous exercise because I'm exhausted physically and mentally. So a few minutes after exercise, I find to be the best time to shut off my brain. And then I also use an app. So if I'm super distracted and can't focus, then I love the Abide app and then the Pause app. They're both excellent.
Yeah, there's lots of free apps out there. They have 5-minute meditation, 10-minute meditations. You can follow it on YouTube. There's tons and tons of different meditations, and some of them have mantras, and some of them don't. Some of them have you, in certain positions. Some of them don't. So just figure out kind of what works for you with meditation. Another big thing for me that I really like to do is that more like kind of yoga stretching type things. So it's very similar in the frame of mind where you work on your breathing and you try and clear your mind, but your body is moving throughout. And I find for me that when I kind of move through a rote sequence that I really, really know, that's when I can kind of shut off my brain and kind of shut off my brain to distractions. And so stretching is really good for you, especially if you're sitting at a desk all day long, right, students? You guys get the hunchback and the carpal tunnel, right? Okay. So some stretches for your neck, some stretches for your back. We're not meant to sit, so sitting all day long, you need to stretch your hip flexors. And so I figure kind of a yoga flow sequence that does all that. That really is a good way for me to kind of relax and de-stress. I usually take a shower first, and then I foam roll for a few minutes to loosen up, and then I do my stretching routine. Everything off, no music in the background. I just kind of do mine in silence, and then I work on breathing in and out through my nose, because the breathing is a big thing.
Huge.
Breathing is a big thing during these meditations or yoga or whatever you want to do, because it really does help kind of clear and de-stress the body.
And you actually don't even realize how shallow you breathe throughout the day until you start either meditation or taking big deep breaths. Hey, my neck pops every day. Yes, so you should definitely try stretching. Also, if your shoulders are way up here,
yes,
you might want to stretch.
Yes, I
you
have
might
that
be
problem.
Slightly too stressed. Yes, same.
Yeah, and when you're reading or looking at your phone or looking at your computer all day long, your neck is like this, right? And so you need to make sure that you also do some neck extension, right? So your cervical spine, if it's always flexed, you do some extension. Remember, you can do side extension, bending, and then you also need to turn, right? So you need to make sure when you do your neck stuff, you're not only just doing extension and flexion, you need to do side bending, lateral bending, and then you also need to do revolution, so turning. So make sure you kind of hit all those as well.
My second favorite de-stressing activity is a private dance party, which sounds so dorky. And definitely close your curtains for this. But put on when I'm really aggravated, this is what I like to do. If I'm really stressed and aggravated, I will close all the curtains and blast the most hardcore metal I can think of, and then dance all crazy. And I Can't believe I told the whole world that right now.
It's all right. We're not judging you.
Hi.
We've done the same. Yeah. A big thing for me too is actually just getting outside, getting some sunshine and vitamin D. Because if you guys are in class all day long, there's some days that you never get to see it. So even if it's just a 10-minute break and you can step outside during lunch, it doesn't take you an hour to eat your sandwich. Okay. Step outside, get some exercise, go for a walk, just get some vitamin D and feel the sun on your face. Okay.
Yay! There's another private dancer too.
Yes.
Maybe we should call it something besides private dancing.
Solo tango.
That might be misinterpreted. My husband's giving me a sideways look right now. Yay, private dancing.
Yes, I love it. I used to dance when I to music when I vacuumed.
Not private?
Well, I mean,
you were privately dancing.
Yeah, but I was vacuuming too.
Yeah.
It was a double. But anyway, so yeah, get outside, get some vitamin D on your skin, on your face. It feels so wonderful, especially if you've been inside all day long. Get away from those blue lights.
Yes, private dancing exercise. Dancing in
Dancercise.
private. Dancercise. Yes.
Dancercise, yeah.
Love
that's
it.
a real thing. That's a
Great idea.
Yes.
Susan.
Speaking of exercise, that is a huge way to de-stress,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So,
trail running.
yes, that's our big thing. We love to run. And so I actually did my first half marathon in PA school. I actually did my first trail run in PA school. Never had I run probably more than, 45 minutes before I got to PA school. But I started running longer and longer on the weekends to de-stress from my studying. So I'd, get up, study for a little bit, take an hour or two to go for a run. And then one day I realized I just ran 80 minutes. And a friend was like, why don't you do a half marathon? I'm like, that's crazy talk. And then about a day later, I was like, okay, let's sign up. And so that actually kickstarted my running career, was actually PA school, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. And so, if that's the way you de-stress, some people like to lift, some people like to swim, but exercise for sure. Not only is it good for your body because you're sitting all day long, but it's also a great way to de-stress.
And now you're running 50 miles?
Yes, I just ran my first 50 miler and I survived.
Hi,
So I count that as a win for 2020.
Hi, Julia. Okay, so the next big thing, which is really hard to do in PA school, is plenty of sleep. And
Yes.
it is literally going to be impossible to get plenty of sleep, but at least more sleep than a few hours. So I was totally a overnight, not even crammer, but I would just get so stressed about all the material I needed to learn for tests. So I would stay up till 3, 4 in the morning, go to sleep for 2 hours, wake up at 6 a.m., 6:30, study some more before class. And it never served me very well. Maybe I made a few extra points that I wouldn't have made otherwise, but I didn't feel great the next day, of course. And then, your workouts suffer, your mental health suffers, that sort of thing. So get sleep.
Yeah, the big thing about PA school is that, it's not just memorization, it's critical thinking. And so if you're so tired you can't think, it doesn't matter how many facts and knowledge you have, because they're not just going to say, repeat to me this fact or tell me this. It's going to be a vignette, a clinical vignette, and you're going to have to think your way through it. And so if you're so tired you can't think, you're actually going to do worse. Okay, well, I have students sit in my office all the time who are like, I cannot believe I missed that question. And I'm like, well, how late did you stay up that night? Did you eat breakfast? Or did you download 50 things of coffee? What did you do? And they just can't believe they missed the easy questions. And it's because when your brain is that tired, you can't think. So, it's worth going to bed a few hours earlier, because then at least the stuff that you do know, you can think through. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind with sleep. And with that, okay, don't mainline caffeine, right? We have students all the time that come in and if you have caffeine after 3 o'clock, you're not going to be able to go to sleep. And you think it is stress from PA school, it's because you just had a pot of coffee and it's 5 o'clock at night, okay? So be careful on the caffeine, right? Chamomile tea, peppermint tea, something like that, herbal at night, okay? Can the kind of warmth of it can be very comforting and help you sleep. But don't expect to drink all this crazy amount of coffee and then, oh yeah, but I'm going to sleep really well the night before my test.
Or you
Doesn't
might
work.
sleep, but it won't be a deep, restful sleep.
Yeah.
One good thing about the pandemic and quarantine right now is being able to sleep in. So true.
There you go. I love it. See, we're going to find the positive in all this. That's
We are
great.
really jealous, actually.
That is great. That is so wonderful. Yeah. And so just think about that. So there are going to be some nights where you don't get as much sleep as you want. But if you're chronically fatigued, your cortisol levels are up, your brain function slows down, you're more vulnerable to colds and viruses. All these things happen when you don't get enough sleep that can help just keep derailing your PA studies. So just think about something of those kind of things. And sleep is one of those things that you can't make up. So if you get 2 hours the night before, you can't just sleep 14 the next night and be like, oh, I made it up. You can't make up sleep. Researchers have shown that if you lose it, it's gone. You don't make it up like you do other things. So just kind of keep that in mind.
Yes, and if you're not a tea fan, drinking hot water is good. Awesome tip. Thank you, Susan.
Yes, sometimes actually when I forget to bring tea, like on vacation and stuff, and they don't have any, like I'll drink hot water, and it feels a little lame, but it does. It's very, very soothing, right? Just the warmth of it, and it kind of warms up your body and all that. And sleeping in a cold room, they say, helps you sleep better as well. So, don't have your temperature on 85. Sleeping like cold helps kind of the body temperature low and sleep. So that's good. Drinking hot water. Okay, yeah.
Any other tips?
I think that's it. I think those are my biggest stress tips. Hang out with friends. I tell my students, like, you have time for something for yourself every day. Maybe 20 minutes, maybe an hour, maybe 15, whatever. But so just choose it wisely. So the 15 minutes might be a 15-minute walk, okay? But if you're scrolling through Facebook for 15 minutes, that's what you're doing with your 15 minutes, okay? Or you might go out to dinner and sit down for dinner for an hour. Well, that's your hour. So don't expect to do that and have time for yourself. So whatever is most important for you to help you de-stress, or something that you really love, you're passionate about, that you have to do every day, well, then you just need to realize that, hey, like if you have an hour for lunch, you better eat in 10 minutes and go do that, or whatever it is, because you will have some time. You just don't want to have a lot of time. So prioritize, I guess is what I'm saying. Figure out what works for you and what is non-negotiable things in your life. Maybe it's time with your kids. Maybe, I'm not really sure. But figure that out and then schedule it into your day, and just realize that, hey, if I'm going to have this non-negotiable thing, well, then I'm not watching TV. I'm not scrolling through social media. I'm not, doing X, Y, or Z. I'm studying, or I'm doing this thing.
So we won't see you guys again until after Christmas. So we hope you have a very Merry Christmas and that Santa is very good to you. Take advantage of some of these tips during the holidays. Holidays can be really stressful. Family can be super stressful.
Yes.
So take some breathers and some time for you. And we hope you have a fabulous Christmas.
And hopefully it's a white one.
Yes. Yeah.
I love white Christmases. We don't get them too often down here. Maybe this year, though.
Or beachy. Beachy Christmas is
good. No. Florida girl over here. I want some snow, man.
Thank you, Susan. You too.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Happy holidays. Bye.